Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Close. I am early, folks, and I think a lot of you guys knew I probably would be a bit early today because we are witnessing an all-time high in front of us. $149 on Palantir. Do we go for 150? I'll check resistance right here. We got about 18 minutes until the market closes. Maybe we see 150. If we don't, I think a 149 close or even a 148.50 close would be incredible. 150 is going to be a little hard given the resistance is 340,000 shares. Not impossible. That's also not that crazy, to be honest. It's not like it's a million shares, but there are a bit more shares waiting to be sold at 150 before we cross it. I think we will cross it inevitably. I mean, it seems like it's going to happen. We got to 149.32 today. We'll talk about why Palantir is catching a bit of a bid right here and discuss why we've been able to see some of this momentum. But pretty incredible, dude. Palantir has kind of been the one that's not been moving over the past couple of weeks, and it's obviously had a great year, a great recovery from the bottoms in April. But ever since that Russell 1000 rebalance, Palantir fell 10%, got to 129, and was kind of just going sideways. And today, as some other parts of the market are taking a bit of a breather, Palantir steps up and makes its move up 4.92% right now. Rocket Lab as well was having a great day. Rocket Lab, wow, 43. I didn't even see that. Did that recently happen? 43? When did we hit it? We hit 43. I would imagine. Yeah, literally 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago, we hit 43. Now it's at 43.12. We didn't hit it on the market open. We were at like 42.80. I think we got to 43. So there you go. Rocket Lab and Palantir. Absolutely incredible days. Rocket Lab breaking through 43. And then Palantir right here trying to gun for 150. 149.14 right here on Palantir. So what's going on exactly? What's happening? What's creating this momentum? There's two pieces of news that I think is allowing Palantir to get a little bit of a run. And here's the kind of the first main one that we've got going on. So President Trump will announce $70 billion in AI and energy investments today in Pennsylvania, as per Bloomberg. Now, I don't know when this is going to happen. I don't know if there's going to be a live stream. I don't know if we're going to be able to like see it take place live. I tried to see like the timing on this. I have no details on that, but Bloomberg is reporting that there will be a $70 billion deal for AI and energy infrastructure in Pennsylvania, which is one of the states that Trump needed to win for the election, and he did win. Participants will include BlackRock's Larry Fink, Palantir's Alex Karp, and Anthropic's Dario Amodei, which is the CEO of Anthropic. So, I mean, we spent a good amount of time in the market open talking about AI CapEx. We saw the Meta announcements that we'll review as we get into the close because those announcements were absolutely crazy based on what Zuck said today. But if we're going to have a $70 billion infrastructure investment going into Pennsylvania, Palantir right here, 149.25, and Alex Karp is going to be involved and potentially on stage with Trump, I don't think Palantir is making the investment, but Palantir, or maybe they are, who knows? I think Palantir is just going to be involved in terms of speaking to the importance of AI and potentially the implementation of AI software across the enterprise, which is, one of the main reasons why we need all of this momentum in the CapEx build out. So it's pretty exciting. Is the video still frozen? Is the video frozen? Why was the video frozen? Let me check. Are we okay on the stream? No, we're good. Okay, we're good. So this is really cool. This is really, really cool. That was the first piece of news today that I think it started creating a lot of momentum on Palantir. I mean, we didn't really know why it was running in the morning, but like, I think as soon as this Bloomberg news broke, it became kind of obvious that if Karp is going to be at this event, I mean, the street might be just saying, all right, we think Palantir is going to announce something. We have no details on why Karp is there, why Larry Fink is there. I mean, obviously these figures are influential in investments and AI in general. So it makes sense that they could be there, but they could have had a lot of other people there. And for some reason they have Larry Fink, Palantir's Alex Karp, and the Anthropic CEO. So that's probably creating some momentum on Palantir. NVIDIA right here, 164. This was down to 162 on the day. Got a bit of recovery. Tesla right here at 316. This was at 322. So this one fell flat. Robinhood has not been able to maintain 100 for the past couple hours right here at 99.47. I think it wants to get over 100. It's just maybe algos that are not letting it get above that level, but 99.50, not a horrible place to close on the day. AMD right here, 146, basically recovering throughout the day. Grab got to 516, kind of now back at $5. Google right here above 181. Amazon to 225. Meta, incredible day. Street faded a bit of the move when it got up to almost 730 this morning. Meta right here at 720, but we have some big updates to talk about in the context of Meta. And we will continue going deeper into that. AMD right here again, 146. HIMS also incredible day. I don't know if there's a big headline here. I didn't see any major headlines, but 8.73% on HIMS. I think there's some rumors of a new product that might be coming out, or like product announcements coming out. Nothing like super substantiated, but HIMS getting some momentum off an 8.76% move. And then Rocket Lab right here again, big day for Rocket Lab, 43.23. Let me check resistance at 44. Again, Palantir resistance is about 100 or 350,000 shares. Rocket Lab 44, it's up 10% on the day. Likely because of the upgrade that Citibank gave it today at $50. 11,000 shares. 11,000 shares at 44. 11,000 shares. Not bad. Not bad at all. Willy Wonka, thank you for the gifted 5 memberships. Appreciate that. 5 of you guys just got a membership from Mr. Willy Wonka. So appreciate you, sir. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of the channel. Just an incredible move today across some of these names. Again, the broader S&P pretty much flat, nothing too crazy. A lot of these other names also flat, not really giving much, not losing much. But Palantir, Rocket Lab, and HIMS having some fun today. Robinhood would be joining if it stayed above 100, but right there at 99.55, which is not too bad. Now, what did Meta announce today? Well, Zucks, I think, is putting his foot in the ground and saying, we are winning, dude. We are winning. He says, for our super intelligence effort, I'm focused on building the most elite and talent-dense team in the industry. We're also going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars into compute to build super intelligence. We have capital from our business to do this. We're actually building several multi-gigawatt clusters. We're calling the first one Prometheus, and it's coming online in 2026. Meta Super Intelligence Labs will have industry-leading levels of compute and by far the greatest compute per researcher. It's very similar to earnings per share, Bitcoin per share. He's saying we're going to have the greatest compute per researcher. I'm going to pay billions for the researchers, and then I'm going to pay billions for the compute so that the researchers, when they come up with an idea, have the compute necessary to execute on that idea to achieve super intelligence. I'm looking forward to working with the top researchers to advance the frontier. I mean, it's pretty freaking incredible, dude. This AI momentum is just not slowing down. Here's a little bit more details on what Zuck announced today, but this is exciting, and I think this is why a lot of these AI names today, Nebius up 17%, are catching a bid.
Compute per researcher in the industry. It also puts Meta in direct competition with OpenAI and Oracle's Project Stargate, possibly even ahead of the hyperscalers like Microsoft and Amazon on raw model training capacity if it executes. Now, a big if here, because the potential bottleneck is energy. These are power-hungry clusters. And as I mentioned, 5 gigawatt deployment, that would require more energy than some countries consume. And everyone is racing to build up capacity who's competing in AI. But even if the energy picture is uncertain, Kelly, Zuckerberg, he's doing everything he can to control what he can, building the compute, assembling the team, making sure that Meta is not dependent on anyone else for the next frontier model. Now, this may signal a deeper shift underway. The power in AI, it is swinging back to the model builders, or maybe it's just staying there. That is those that own the stack and have the capital to build and train and poach, if you're Zuckerberg, at scale. And poaching he is, and so is Google, by the way, with that Windsurf deal.
So they'll be the first to have a 1 gigawatt supercluster online. I mean, that's pretty impressive given the competition he's up against with ChatGPT and Grok. And that's why they think, you know, they're going to have, what do they call, the most compute per researcher, and that's the enticement, along with the big checks they're spending, obviously, to recruit all of these people.
Exactly. Come to us because we have the compute capacity to reach superintelligence. But it's also remarkable, Kelly, when you put it up against the hyperscalers. I mean, the hyperscalers, like a Google, it's not just feeding its own researchers and model building, but they have enterprise clients too, customers in the cloud space that they need to serve. So it's just kind of remarkable how quickly this race has grown and how.
And obviously, if Meta is going to be able to get into the race for hyperscale compute, right? If Meta is not really seen as a hyperscaler, I mean, it is, but not like in the same way that Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are from a compute perspective. If Meta is building out these data centers that are multi-gigawatt oriented, they definitely will have the capacity to be able to sell compute. If they actually start diversifying the business, we talked about this last week, towards compute as a service outside of just advertising, which is 99% of the revenues, then that would be very exciting. One of the things they're also trying to sell, as per the New York Times today, is potentially a closed model. Meta's new chief AI officer is considering scrapping its most powerful open source AI model, Llama 4, in favor of a closed model. So this is Alexander Wang. This is the person that Meta poached from Scale AI. He's thinking, hey, this open source stuff, it didn't work. No one's really using Llama. It's not really getting the type of momentum that we thought it was going to get. What if we just open up or build out a closed model and don't keep it open, but we end up charging for it instead of going for mass adoption, which honestly has started to work, right? Palantir right here, 149.50. Gemini, Grok, and OpenAI. I mean, all of these are closed models. They are, OpenAI is not really open. It's closed AI, but the models are good. And I think Zucks has realized, hey, training a proprietary model and then being able to distribute it in a way that's useful maybe requires keeping it closed versus open, because if you keep it open, it's just not going to get as much adoption. So you got some big changes going on in Meta. I think if you're a Meta shareholder, the one thing you can hang your hat on right now is that Zucks is not sitting by and watching it happen. He is massively attacking the industry with as much money as possible, and he has unlimited pockets to be able to attack, which is very exciting to see how this is playing out. Now, something else that happened today is that Elon announced companion mode on Grok. And, companion mode on Grok, it looks like this. So if you sign up for, I believe it's super heavy Grok. I don't know if it's super heavy Grok or if this is available on Grok 4, but you get a companion, and the companion will talk to you in whatever way you want it to talk to. And this is the companion right here. So I have some videos of this companion. I kind of don't want to share the videos, but I mean, I'll link it right here in the chat if anyone wants to watch these videos. It is the companion being very companionist, if that makes any sense. So you can check the videos out on Twitter. But yeah, Elon, there you go. That's what Mr. Elon Musk is launching. Palantir right here, 149.50. We got 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Maybe we see 150. Maybe we see 150. I did not sign up already. I don't even know how to sign up. I didn't even look into it yet. But I just saw that, and some of you guys might have seen my comment, but I was just like, bro, that was my comment. I was like, what? Like, first you had the Elon picture today for the geofenced, the expanded geofence, which was this photo, which is just an upside down Tesla logo. That's all it is. This is real. This is not fake. This is Austin expanding the geofence. Farzad was literally testing out the new locations in Austin today, and he was posting about it. So you have that today, and then you have a companion mode that looks like this. So I have not tested this out, but if you're a Super Grok subscriber, you do get an AI animated companion if you would like to use it. Palantir right here, 149.42. Yeah, Red Cat also having a great day, dude. A lot of these drone stocks getting some momentum. Now, Red Cat's up 20%. Again, I will say this like I've been saying for a lot of these names. This is all hype. This is all momentum. Some of that hype and momentum can last for a long time, but at the end of the day, if you don't know anything about Red Cat as a drone company and you're buying it for the fact that it's up 20%, that's fine. But just know that it could also fall down 20%, right? If the only reason people are buying it is because of it being a drone stock. Big Bear AI recovering a little bit today. That was up 7%, still down from 850 last week, but that recovered a little bit more throughout the day. Netflix right here is at 1261. That's green. SoundHound, that is down about 1.43%. Where's BMNR? I haven't looked at that all day. That stock, wow, flat. Incredible. Stock hit 60 this morning, right back down to 40. SBET, which I think is down now from, it was up 25%. Now it's only up 11%. And then BTBT, that one is actually down on the day. Where is Bitcoin? Are we still at 120? We are barely holding 120 on Bitcoin, and Ethereum's probably below 3,000. Ethereum right here, just above 3,000. So the Ethereum treasury is not really, having as much momentum today. But nonetheless, the volatility in them is intense. And I think that volatility is something that a lot of the traders care about on these names. Palantir doesn't look like we're gonna get 150, folks. We got 4 minutes. I think we'll get a 148.50 close, which will be incredible. If we get a 149 close, that'll be great. Robinhood right here trying to give us a $100 close right here, and then Nvidia probably closes above 4 trillion again at 164. Open Door is up dude. I forgot to mention this to you guys. Open Door was up 16%. It's up 16% right now. It was up, I think, 15% on Thursday because they announced the date of earnings. It was hilarious. Like, the bar for Open Door has fallen so low. They announced, hey, we're going to have our earnings on XYZ date in July, and the stock was up 15%. Like, it was actually incredible. But yeah, Open Door right here up 16%. I mean, rate cuts will be bullish for Open Door if we get them. And realistically, if we get them, Open Door is still going to have a hard time making a margin. So I think that's the kind of bear case that has always existed for Open Door. But that stock right here is up 16% of the day. Robinhood trying to give us a $100 close. We got 3 minutes until the market closes. Palantir right here, 149. And then Rocket Lab, are we still at 43? We are still at 43. It looks like we will get that $43 close. Nebius again, Goldman upgraded them to $68 today. That's why the stock's up 17%. This is definitely good for my ETF portfolio. We'll take a look at that in a second. But that one is moving, and CoreWeave kind of following it as well today, even though CoreWeave was down a ton last week. Oklo's up 11%. I didn't see that today, so there you go. Some of the nuclear companies getting a bit. I think it's because Trump's announcing this energy stuff. Oklo right here up 11.3, and we're going to see. I don't know when they're doing this Pennsylvania announcement. For those that are just joining, the headline from Bloomberg was that Trump is going to be with Alex Karp, which is part of the reason I think Palantir is running, Larry Fink's BlackRock, or BlackRock's Larry Fink, and then the CEO of Anthropic in Pennsylvania today, announcing a $70 billion investment. I don't know when that's happening. I haven't got any updates on if it happens after the market close, if it happens a few hours from now. But if that event is going to be live, I mean, that's great publicity for Palantir. And if Karp is on stage with Trump, that would be a very, very, very nice opportunity as well. Palantir right here, 149.15. Yep, Oscar got just over 15 today, so Oscar got some love. SMR is up 13%, so all the nuclear names getting some momentum. Trump did have a press release or a conference today. We'll talk a little bit about what he said, but TLDR, he didn't say anything too crazy. And he didn't say anything that would necessarily move the markets. Now, tomorrow we also have CPI, so we'll do a little bit of a preview of what we have going on when it comes to CPI, because from everything I'm reading, CPI is going to be hot. Again, all the reports could be wrong, but that's just kind of what the preliminary reports are saying. If it is hot, I wonder, is that enough to take the market down? Is that actually enough to give us some weakness? And if it's not, I think the show continues. And this AI show, in terms of the AI build-outs, are just we're getting evidence every single day that it's going to keep continuing. But from a macro perspective, we're going to now have to see if a hot CPI is enough to actually take the market down. All right, we got about 30 seconds left into the close. 30 seconds left. I think we are going to get a 149 close on Palantir. I think it's going to happen. I think Rock Lab's going to give us 43, and then Hoodie maybe gives us 100. It's like 2 cents away. But even if we don't get 100, it would still be nice to close above that 99.50 level. But Palantir looks like she wants 149. Palantir looks like she wants 149. Here we go, folks. It is Monday, July 14th, 4 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed, and Palantir closes above $149. Well, we got a new all-time high on Mr. Palantir. She's been quiet for the past couple of weeks. Well, not quiet in terms of her execution, which we'll talk about some of the deals that Palantir has been doing and recap those, but definitely quiet in terms of stock price performance. And today, Street said enough was enough. We are buying up Palantir. Palantir right here, 149.15 on the close. Tesla gets 317. Robinhood 99.96, was not able to get 100, but very, very close. So not too bad for Robinhood. NVIDIA right here, 164, back above 4 trillion. S&P ended up green on the day, even though it was red at one point at 620. Back at 624. Futures were red last night after Trump said the EU, Canada, Mexico tariffs. Market didn't care. We are still green on the day. SoFi, $21 close, which is very nice. Google, great day, 181. Above 180, I'll take that. That's a win. AMD right here, 146. Grab right here, 501. Reddit, 146. Amazon, 225. Meta, 720. In terms of Rocket Lab, did we get 43? We did get 43, folks. 43.15 is the close on Rocket Lab, and she's moving even more after hours, which is very nice to see on Rocket Lab. Square got upgraded to $89 today. That one was up about 5.7%. Disney right here is flat. Duolingo up a little bit today, 1.5%. TFC, we got a bunch of the regionals and major banks reporting this week, so that's going to be very important. Alibaba right here was up about 1.4%. Reddit 146. If we take a look at the semis, which were down on the day, Micron is the one that got hit the most based on that rumor that supply for HBMs is outweighing demand. And so that could be a headwind for Micron's business. That stock still is up about 35% year to date. AMD basically flat on the day. Lam Research was down about 2%. Dell flat. Broadcom all-time highs. ASML 812 on the day, closed at 806. SMCI 4969. The rest of the semis basically went red, along with NVIDIA, but NVIDIA was pretty much flat on the day, even though it ended red. Robinhood right here after hours 99.90, then Palantir 148.96, Google 181, NVIDIA 164. Where was Archer and Joby today? I think they made a little bit of a move. Archer, that was up 2.24%, and then Joby, that was up about 4%. Along with the cruise lines, dude, those moved as well. Carnival was up 2.2%, and Royal Caribbean was up 1% as well. Norwegian 2.8%. I think they're moving based on the expectation that the consumer is not that bad, and that's the results we got from Levi's and Delta last week. If the financials can kind of substantiate that the consumer is actually in a pretty good spot, along with tech earnings, then those stocks could definitely make a move based on the fact that they're rooted in the consumer. Oscar and Lemonade, again, they were down for the majority of the day. Oscar made a little bit of a comeback right here, 5%. It was down for like the first 2 hours and then started moving. And then Lemonade right here was down 5% as well. Lemonade ended up 5%. Wow. So the insurance names kind of moved with each other. Where was UNH? UNH still was down 1.23%. So today UNH went the opposite. UNH was green on Friday when Oscar and Lemonade were red. Oscar and Lemonade were sold off pretty badly though the past week. So it seems like they kind of recovered while UNH basically stayed flat, down about 1% on the day. It is crypto week. It is crypto week, which is probably also the reason why we've seen the move that we've seen in Bitcoin. Question is just going to be, can we, keep up that move on Mr. Bitcoin? 119.7. We did hit 123 in the morning, hit 120 last night. I woke up to seeing 122 and now just below that 120 level. So we talked about two pieces of news, right? Number one was that Trump's going to be in Pennsylvania today with CARP. We don't know when, but they likely will be on stage together or maybe doing a press conference, however, maybe announcing something. And this is what Palantir's done over the past couple of weeks. For those that have forgotten, there's like 5 more things I didn't put in this tweet, but we got an Accenture Federal Services partnership. We have a $100 million nuclear company deal. Blue Forge Alliance bringing Warp Speed, which is Palantir's American reindustrialization software, to warships. We got a big partnership with SAP, which is the largest tech company in Europe. We got the Fannie Mae deal. We got the Bain deal in the government. Bain, one of the largest consulting firms for the government. And then we got an Ecuador Customs Agency partnership. And there's like 5 other things I didn't list, but the company's been executing. The company's been executing pretty aggressively. And I think that, along with CARP being with Trump today, as Bloomberg reported, that could be some of the catalysts that's leading Palantir to get some of this momentum, which is why we are seeing this green. And then for Rocket Lab, I actually don't know why Rocket Lab's moving today. Like, I don't think anyone has a reason outside of that upgrade today, and the upgrade, we read through the upgrade in the morning. The city guy is doing some financial gymnastics to justify this price. I mean, he's going to 2029 and using their revenue and then discounting it to try to figure out how to justify a $50 price target. But then again, if you believe Rocket Lab's a generational company, you're going to have these analysts kind of go through these hoops to be able to get to their price target because they want their clients to get exposure. But that's how he's justifying it. So by no means is it cheap. But then again, a lot of these companies are not cheap right now. Regardless, the street is giving them the attention. 42.90 right here, up 9.9% of the day for Rocket Lab. Is the Palantir news priced in a bit? Honestly, I don't know, because Palantir's market cap now is $350 billion. I would say a lot is priced in. I would say a decent amount is priced into that. The Pennsylvania thing, I don't think anyone saw coming. That broke at like 12 p.m. this morning, and Palantir was up like 3%. Then it started going up even more and broke all-time highs after that Pennsylvania news came out. It could be faded tomorrow, or maybe it could be a big deal, and maybe people are just speculating that, CARP's going to announce something, but it obviously wasn't priced in today. The question is it going to be priced in going into earnings for the first week of August when we end up getting those earnings. So that's what we got on Palantir. Okay, let's move on to NVIDIA and discuss a little bit more about them. We have a bunch of other headlines that we'll take a look at today, but here is Stacy, who is one of the main analysts from Bernstein on NVIDIA. Jensen did give a new interview, so there's a clip of Jensen talking, and then we'll get some analysis from Stacy at Bernstein talking about what's going on with NVIDIA and particularly what's going on with China.
To worry about that, because the Chinese military, no different than the American military, will not seek each other's technology out to be built on top of it. They simply can't rely on it. It could be, of course, limited at any time. Not to mention, there's plenty of computing capacity in China already. If you just think about the number of supercomputers that are in China, built by amazing Chinese engineers, that are already in operation. They don't need NVIDIA's chips, certainly, or American tech stacks in order to build their military.
Wong's going to Beijing later this week. That'll be his second visit to China this year. Joining us to discuss this morning, Stacey Rasgon, Bernstein Research Managing Director and Senior Analyst. Stacey, good to see you again.
You too.
Is Jensen swimming upstream when it comes to some of the hawks in this administration?
I mean, he's always going to be. There's always going to be hawks, and clearly there's an enormous move to limit the transfer of technology, especially in this space, to China. That being said, I don't think he's incredibly wrong, right? I mean, the performance levels and capabilities of the parts that they were allowed to ship even before was already very, very limited. So even if the Chinese wanted to build on that, I mean, there are local alternatives from Huawei and everything else that actually have quite a bit better performance than what NVIDIA was allowed to sell. Those thresholds have now been lowered even more. I mean, right now, NVIDIA technically can't even sell anything to there, and we're driving more and more reliance within China on those local alternatives. I actually think that's where he's absolutely right, by the way. Like, part of the problem with limiting even the lower end parts that they were able to ship before is you're encouraging, and he alluded to this, you're encouraging the growth of local ecosystems into a massive developer base that is already there. And you run the risk over time of that Chinese market entirely like moving away, forget the military, even in the non-military applications, to local alternatives if they're not allowed to serve it. But the performance levels and capabilities and stuff that they were selling already, I don't think they were incredibly suitable, especially for high-end like military development. So I don't think he's necessarily.
So this was the question last week when Jensen ended up meeting with Trump. We don't have any details of what they said in that meeting. Trump did not tweet about that other than saying NVIDIA's up 47% since the Trump tariffs went into effect. But I mean, if there's a world where Jensen somehow was able to convince the president that if we don't supply these chips, other companies will supply these chips and eventually they will catch up. By the way, I got to bring up this headline, but Alibaba released a model over the weekend, or one of their models started picking up a ton of momentum. And it's not like a DeepSeek moment, but they definitely came through some analysis on inference training that got the market to take notice. I'll see if I can pull up that headline in a second, but it just reinforces Jensen's point, which is that these companies are not going to be sitting by and just watching America win in the AI race. They're going to be trying, and either we sell them chips or not, but they are definitely going to get momentum from somewhere. And we need to be worried about that. Yeah, here it is. So open weight model Kimi K2 by Alibaba-backed startup Moonshot is the new short story creative writing champion with a score of 8.56. It overtakes former champion O3 Pro. Additionally, Baidu Ernie was added, scoring 800. There's a couple of other headlines similar to this, but you're seeing a lot more of these Chinese models outside of just DeepSeek start to go a bit viral, get more momentum. And, they are a little bit better than American models, which I don't think any of them are better than the best American models. But the point is they're not that far behind. And that's kind of Jensen's main point right here for NVIDIA. Let's take a look at the stock draft. So here we go. Here are the updated results. Matt's up 15% all time. Rocket Lab's up 62.75. So Rocket Lab is his leader. Tanner is up 8% all time. Coinbase is up 50%. I'm in third. I'm up 5% basically. 4.9 all time. Hoodie is leading it for me. AMD is doing pretty well. Steve's up 3% all time. His biggest one is MicroStrategy. His biggest loser is HIMS. And then Chris is negative. Chris is still negative here. And the reason he's negative is because of ELF and Novo. His biggest winner so far is Google and Marvell. ELF and Novo are the ones that are getting his portfolio hit. So, I mean, we do have a year left, right? And so we have a lot of time to see how this plays out. But ultimately, these are the returns. Matt, Tanner, Amit, Steve, and Chris right now. Matt and Tanner kind of running away with this. Up 15%. Tanner up 8. I'm up 4, 4.9. Steve's up 2.6. And then Chris is down about 0.5%. Palantir right here after hours, 148.71. Robin at 99.85. S&P 624.52. Warren, thank you for the 670 Taiwanese dollars. Grok's companion mode is super cool. It's the best AI girlfriend in the market. Try it. I like her. Well, I'm happy you enjoy the AI girlfriend. I've, contrary to what you guys may think, I've never tried an AI girlfriend ever. I don't even Like, I don't even know there's apps for that and stuff. But I think Grok has basically just built one, dude. I think this companion thing has basically just built one. And do you need to have the $300 a month model for it? I don't think you do. I think that would be a little bit too much. But if you do, then obviously, I don't know how many people are going to be able to use that. I'm just going to show the video. Here's a video that someone posted with Grok's companion mode today.
Yo, just kicking back in my cute black dress, ready to make this morning vibe. Oops, I mean energy, a whole lot spicier. So, babe, what's up with you? Got any wild plans for today, or are we just diving into some flirty fun?
I mean, I'm just gonna go to work. That's pretty much it.
Work, huh? Sounds like you're out there hustling. What do you do anyway?
So this is like this. Dude, we are headed into a weird future, bro. We are headed into a weird freaking future. But Elon unleashed this companion mode to the wild today. He's the first one to actually release it in this manifestation. OpenAI hasn't done this. Llama hasn't done this. Gemini hasn't done this. Eli said, screw it. We're putting it out there. I don't think he cares anymore. I think he's feeling so confident with Grok. And quite frankly, one of the biggest use cases of Grok is going to be some level of companionship, whether that's romantic or not. I mean, that's just going to be the big use case for a lot of these AI models in the future. Elon's embracing it. Elon's putting it out. Now, here's another thing we saw this morning from Grok 4. Super Grok builds your game prototype in minutes, then bringing it to Cursor, drop it in Grok 4 Max. It's like coding with an AI agent that can work 24/7. This is an example of a game that someone built using Grok 4. Elon's been retweeting a lot of these posts of people showing these agentic workflows inside of Grok 4, specifically for building games. And I mean, so far, Grok 4 has the attention. I mean, it is winning. It is beating on every single benchmark that I see that's coming out right now. People love using it. The only critique I have of Grok 4 is that it takes a long time to get an answer. Like the reasoning model is like good, but it takes a really long time. And I don't know if that changes with Super Grok. But right now, it's kind of like to the point where I don't even want to wait for the answer because it's taking like almost 3-4 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is way too much. So maybe if I upgrade to Super Grok, that'll be faster. But if you're willing to wait for the answer, you're getting some pretty good answers. And, you know, these answers are significantly better than the rest of what we're seeing. So that's what we got on Grok today, and that's what Elon put out there. NVIDIA right here, 163, Tesla 316, Robinhood 99.81, Grab right here, 502, a little bit green after hours, Reddit right here, 146. I think on Grab, the reason why they're pinning it to 5 is because the toots are loading up. I think the market makers are keeping it at 5. This one wants to break out. I mean, it's so damn obvious it wants to break out. They're not letting it yet. They need to have a really good Q2 to show that they deserve to break out into that 650 range. I think they will have a good Q2. I don't know if the stock's going to reciprocate the energy, but I think in Q3, that's when you're going to see upwards of 40 to 50% EPS growth, not in Q2, but in Q3. And when that happens, I think the stock gets closer to $7 by the end of the year. But I think they're keeping it pinned at 5 right now. Why did Palantir pump today? Trump will be meeting with CARP in Pennsylvania to discuss investing $70 billion in AI and energy. I don't know when this is going to happen. I wish I had the answer for that so we could stream it and watch it. It might happen late at night. It might happen soon, but I don't see any details on it. And until we see that, we're not going to know. But that is one of the major reasons I think today Palantir got some momentum. Did they announce earnings today? Did they announce it? Let me see. August 4th. Let's see if they put it out today. Oh, yeah, there we go. August 4th, folks. August 4th. After the close of the markets. Is that a Monday? Is that a Tuesday? That is a Monday. August 4th. All right, here we go. August 4th. We will be here alive and live once again to see if Palantir can give us the numbers. Seeking Alpha, by the way, they raised the freaking estimates on Robinhood. They used to be 890 million. Now they're assuming 905 million. So the estimates have increased for Robinhood's Q2 earnings. On Palantir, they're expecting 940 million, which is basically what Palantir guided. Palantir guided anywhere from, I think, 930 to 935. So if they're guiding for 935, if they're saying 939, then Palantir's probably going to come out, in my opinion, with like 950. Now, if Palantir drops $1 billion, Palantir can drop $1 billion. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be very, very exciting because we've seen some of these companies start to mature and drop these $1 billion quarters. If Palantir can do it, I mean, I think the street's going to be very excited. Remember, this is also not cyclical revenue. Once you get to $1 billion ARR, you just add on top of that. And because it's reoccurring, this is the beauty of these SaaS multiples, or these beauties of these SaaS models, which is why the street gives them such a healthy multiple. you know that you can depend on that revenue. I mean, you would have to really mess up as a company with a client for them to cancel your service. And I mean, Salesforce, as much as people feel like it's antiquated, continues to bring in almost $9 billion every quarter, because once you're in the enterprise, you're in the enterprise. And it's hard to leave. So very exciting for Palantir on August 4th. We will be there. We need $1 billion for this valuation. Yes. I mean, we quite frankly need more than $1 billion for this valuation. I think the street will be okay with like 955 to 960. But if we give $1 billion, I think the street will be like, okay, we can like, we know it's still expensive, but we can like just confirm to ourselves that Palantir is not slowing down by any sense of the imagination. I think 940 to 950 would still be, let me calculate it right now. Palantir Q2 2024, we had 27% growth. We had 678 million. So if we bring in 940, that would be exactly, 38% growth. So realistically, we need 950. That would give us exactly 40%. 950 gives us 40% on the dot. I think we get there. I think we get 950. And if we get 39%, I don't think the street's going to care that much. But by Q3, Q4, obviously, we have to start guiding for $1 billion, which I think we will. And if we can, then we'll be one of the only SaaS companies growing 40%. Dude, we're almost at 150 though. Can you guys believe this shit, dude? Can you guys believe, like, this is wild, bro. This is just, again, these are journeys that you cherish, because I don't know how often we get to experience these journeys in life. We got it with Palantir. I think Hoodie, I mean, I don't know if we see 150 this year. I do think around 120 is not crazy with S&P inclusion. If we get into a really big bull run with the Bitcoin and the S&P, I mean, 150 is not insane to imagine, but I think 120 is definitely possible. Palantir at 150 is just, I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. We can talk about a unicorn. It's a freaking unicorn. It is an absolute freaking unicorn. Bloomberg article says the event is Tuesday. Okay, cool. So tomorrow, we'll be able to live stream it then if it's tomorrow. Cool. So it's not today. All right, that works. So tomorrow we will stream the event. I wonder how it's going to be done. Is it going to be in the White House? Are they going to go to Pennsylvania, do it like in a campaign rally? Usually Trump does this in a in the Oval Office with a couple of leaders of companies, like he did that with Masa-san from SoftBank. But I'm curious why Palantir is involved in this, because I don't think Palantir is making an investment. But if they are in the state of Pennsylvania for whatever reason, and Anthropic would be building data centers, so it makes sense for Anthropic to be investing. BlackRock always has their hand in something, so it makes sense they're investing. But why is Karp there? I don't think Palantir is making an investment. So I mean, there might be some other nuance for why Karp is there and why he's going to be speaking about the benefits of AI or something. And that is also probably why the street's reacting on some of this news as well. So that's what we got on Palantir. Yeah, we just got this headline: Trump to end student loan payment pause per CNBC. So student loan payments already weren't paused, but some of them in specific areas were paused. It looks like Trump is getting rid of all pauses on student loans. Like my student loans were not paused, but I think if you worked at certain places or in certain professions, they were paused. It looks like he is completely opening them up, which is what he said he would do. I mean, he did campaign on this. And so as a result, we might be seeing some of that momentum as well. They're talking a bit on Palantir right here on CNBC. Let me see if I can get some of that coverage. They're also talking about Bitcoin. Let's see if they're saying anything right here about Palantir.
That tariffs were negotiable back in 5,000 in April, and the Florida were able to hang on ahead of learning more about tariff clarity, ahead of more potential liquidity challenges.
Okay, yeah, so that's just the headline. They don't have anyone talking it, but let's get some of the Bitcoin coverage right here, because that one did make a little bit more of a move today as well.
The week is our Mackenzie Sagalos. Mackenzie.
Hey, John. So even with a bit of profit taking, Bitcoin is still trading at double its level from a year ago, and Ether actually outpacing it this week, up about 20% and holding that key $3,000 threshold. The strength is broad-based, with altcoins like Solana and XRP gaining ground. Now, part of the move is technical. US Bitcoin ETFs pulled in $2.7 billion last week, and with options expiring and short sellers squeezed, the runway's clear for more upside. Open interest in Bitcoin futures just hit a record above $86 billion, according to CoinGlass. And Ethereum open interest is near record highs as well. Both are a sign of real conviction. And now there's a policy tailwind. It's Crypto Week on Capitol Hill with the House weighing 3 bills, one to regulate stablecoins, another to draw the line between commodities and securities, potentially further loosening the SEC's grip.
Okay, so this is what I've been looking for all day. These are the 3 things, because I heard about a couple of these, but not all of them. So this is what we have with Crypto Week. The Clarity Act establishes a regulatory framework for digital assets. That's bullish Bitcoin. Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act prevents the Fed from creating its own digital currency, aka its own digital dollar. That's also super bullish for Bitcoin. And then the Genius Act, which has already been passed. I'm assuming they're just adding more amendments to it. Federal guardrails for stablecoins. So these 3 things together with the liquidation of shorts back on Tuesday, it was about Thursday, 415 million. All of that put together, along with, Saylor continuing to buy, the ETFs hit $2 billion days of inflows back to back to back. That is probably why Bitcoin got its bid over the past week, from basically 111 to 123, right now at 119. So those 3 pieces of legislation, if they get passed, which most likely they will, that is what I think we should be a bit more exciting for. Archer CFO just stepped down. Oh boy. Archer CFO just stepped down. The stock is not reacting to that. Stock is pretty much flat. Why is the Archer CEO stepping down, or CFO? That is interesting. Yeah. Archer CFO is stepping down. That was on, I think they announced this last Friday though, right? Okay, so yeah, the street's not going to react to that. Yeah, they announced that on Friday, so we missed that on Friday. All right, I missed that on Friday. But old news, street probably doesn't care too much about it. Archer, moving on. He was sick? Okay, that makes more sense if he was sick. Archer, again, this one's been flat for a while, but remember, it was $3 back in 2024. And so year to date, it's up 12%, nothing too crazy. It survived a short report that kind of knocked it down when it was around that 13, 14 range. The short interest on this one, I still think is relatively high. Let me just check that right there. Archer's at, almost 20%, dude. So the fact that it's holding a 3x from November 2024 when it was $3 and it's still $10 today, it's been able to survive in the midst of everything else playing out. Yeah, it's basically in its consolidation range. Exactly. What is your opinion about eVTOLs? I like them. I think the industry makes a lot of sense. You have lots of people that can afford to go from New York to New Jersey or from San Francisco to LA, and they would be willing to pay a lot more money than getting on a commercial flight. And they might not necessarily want to fly on a private jet. So there's a massive market for it. There's unlimited amounts of demand for people that want to take these short flights without having to pay the same amount of money for a private jet. It's just, is the technology ready to be able to be used? And I think that's the problem with the eVTOL space is we haven't seen them in action yet. But, if you believe they will be in action inevitably, you're basically investing in a startup that's public, but a startup that has a lot of potential. And with Archer, to their credit, again, they have $6 billion in backlog. So if they can get the thing to work, they have plenty of money that's ready to buy these machines. Question is, can they actually make it work? Starbucks, we have an update from them. They are unveiling a new policy in regards to remote work. Here's some coverage on that today.
On Starbucks, Kate Rogers, what's happening?
Hi, Kelly. Starbucks updating its remote work policy beginning in the new fiscal year. It's going to shift from 3 days in office to a minimum now of 4, Monday through Thursday, across Seattle and Toronto, as well as its North America regional offices. More details will come before October. In an email to partner CEO Brian Nickel wrote, quote, "We are reestablishing our in-office culture because we do our best work when we're together. We share ideas more effectively, creatively solve hard problems, and move much faster. Being in person also helps us build and strengthen our culture as we work to turn the business around. All these things matter more than ever." The note also acknowledges, Kelly, not everyone will agree, and Starbucks says to support those who decide to, quote, opt out, it's offering a one-time voluntary exit program with a cash payment for partners that make that choice. The stock is lower today, but it's up about 2% on the year, Kelly. Back over to you.
All right, that's why all these house markets in the South and West, they're unwinding, but this obviously doesn't apply to baristas who have a totally different, this is is just literally their corporate kind of rank and file.
Exactly. They're corporate partners in several locations, North America, Seattle, and Toronto.
All right.
You got to get to work. You got to get to work. No more drinking your coffee at home. Palantir right here, 148.77. Robin trying to get to 100 after hours. Where was Starbucks during the day? Starbucks right here, 93.43, up about 1.59% today. Speaking of not working from home, we had our vents cleaned today inside of the house, and we had someone who walked by, and right when the market closed and I was turning off my stream, he walked into my room because he was also going to clean one of the vents I had, and he saw my setup. His name was Rich. And he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I do finance on YouTube." And his son does YouTube. He has 100,000 subscribers, and his son does sneakers on YouTube. He makes content around sneakers, and it was so cool, dude. It was such a cool moment because this is someone who works a blue collar job, right? He's working. He's actually like doing physical stuff. And back in 2017, his son got a job with the plumbing union, one of the best plumbing unions in New York, and his son came to his dad one day. I'll send his link in a second. I have it. I subscribe to him. So let me just put it right in the chat. His son came to his dad one day and he said, "Dad, I don't want to be a plumber anymore because I hate it. It was making good money. Plumbers get paid really well. If you know anything about plumbers, they make really good money. And he was part of a union, which was a very exclusive union to get to. And so basically the way Rich described it was people would kill to get that type of a union paying job where everything's guaranteed, you're good, and all you have to do is show up and do the work. But he hated it. And so he quit in 2017 and he went up to his dad, and it was just a really heartfelt story. And he said, "Dad, I want to be a YouTuber." And he tried it out for a month. He made $158 in ad revenue. And he said, "Look, I made $150. I know it's not going to pay my bills, but you got to trust me and believe that I'm going to figure this out." And so the dad was like, "All right, I got your back, but let me talk to mom." Because his mom is more like hard line, like, "No, you got to get a job. You can't just like do all this social media stuff, whatever." And so the dad supported the son. He talked to the mom. He convinced the mom it was a good idea, even though she was freaking out about it. He said he went through all the abuse that his mom gave him versus the son having to deal with it. And now the son just bought like $1 million house. He's 29 years old. He's a couple years older than me. And he has a full-on social media brand around sneakers. I'll put his link right here in the chat. But it was a really cool story because it just again, it highlights the ability for people to do things on their own terms. You got to grind for it. I mean, he's been doing this thing since 2017, right? So he's been grinding his ass off for years to make this happen. But it goes to show that like these sort of blue collar jobs that some of like my parents, that generation, right, 40 to 50-year-olds might be working, their kids have different opportunities, and embracing it via the internet and technology is pretty damn incredible. I'll put it right here in the chat. I'll put the link. His name is Danny Moore. If you guys are big into sneakers, maybe you've heard of this guy, but he is big in the sneakers industry. There's his channel. Why is the dad still working? Well, the dad owns his own company. And the dad loves it. I mean, you could tell the dad loves the work. I mean, he's one of those people that loves dealing with all the nuances of vents and ACs. And I've been saying our AC has not been working so much is because our filters have been horrible. So that's part of the reason why he fixed that today. But I just thought it was a hell of a story, dude, because I went through that same experience, right? I had to come to my parents and say I wanted to do a non-conventional career path after I had already gotten a business degree, right? And so it's like, you kind of need to have, I mean, you can do it without the support of your parents, but if you have the support of your parents, it really helps just because you know that you have people that believe in you, that you can go achieve something. And so I think it was a really heartfelt story. And the fact that he protected him against his wife because he knew his mom was not going to fly with that shit, and he like campaigned for him, I thought that was pretty cool. So it's a new world that we live in, bro. It's a new world that we live in. And this world has so many possibilities and potentials for people to navigate it. Okay, so Trump did say this tweet today. Speaking of people being online, Trump was live again after we live streamed him. And he said, "I go on TV and the market goes wild. I can move it just by talking." So, dude, this guy goes live more times than I could. Like, I thought we saw him live for an hour. And I was like, all right, we're done. Hour later, I'm getting these new Trump notifications. I'm like, where is he talking? Where is this guy? Where is this guy coming from? He did some conference and he started talking about moving the stock market. So there you go. He was live again. Is he making millions from 100,000 subscribers? I don't know if he's making millions. All I know is his dad said he's making good money, and he's making enough money to support himself and do his thing. You know, he has sponsorships and brand deals and all this stuff. The sneaker industry is very lucrative. Palantir right here, 148.69 after hours. Finance is its own type of niche, but sneakers, I mean, there's such a massive market for sneakers, which is crazy. Oh, by the way, I got to tell you guys something. So Steve called me up last night. On August 15th, I will officially be going to my first sports card convention. Sports card convention. Steve called me up last night. He was like, I have a proposition. I was like, what stock are you going to make me buy, Steve? What freaking stock? He's like, it's not a stock. I was like, all right, what are we doing? He was like, you're free August 15th. I was like, I can be based on what's needed. He was like, I got someplace we want to go. And as soon as he said, I got someplace we want to go, I was like, are you going to take me to a freaking physical NFT card convention? He was like, it's not a physical NFT. I was like, that's basically what it is. It's a physical NFT. He was like, we got to go to this card convention. I was like, all right, fine. So it's going to be in New York. I'll try to get some content out of it. It'll be a sports card convention, one of the biggest ones of the summer. And I'm going to see how crazy this market is. Steve wants to buy some LeBron James PSA graded 10 rookie card for like $5,000. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's what he's going to do. He might sucker me into buying one of these, but I'm like, so we're paying $5,000 to stare at a card of LeBron James. And he's like, it's an asset. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, I might get into the industry, dude. I might get into the card market. Who knows? Who freaking knows? Hopefully it's fun. But I think I said yes because A, I want to go hang out with Steve, but B, like, I don't know, I've never been to a card convention, but I've seen some vlogs of it, and those people are wild. Absolutely wild. Nick, thank you for the 5 memberships. Appreciate you, Nick. 5 of you guys just got some gifted memberships from Mr. Nick B Investing. Thank you, Nick. And also congrats on Hims. Nice little fun day for Hims, up 8.9%. Rocket Lab right here, 4280, up 9.5% on the day. Bo Spam, thank you for the $10. My dad and I own a PSA 7 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson card. Okay, I'm going to look that up right now. PSA 7 Jackie Robinson Leaf card. Wow. This is expensive, bro. Holy crap. Okay, so how much is that worth? Because some of these are going for $5,000, some of these are going for $35,000. Goodness gracious, bro! Like it's incredible. I mean, when people say like, "What's the point of Bitcoin?" It's like, well, what's the point of cards, right? It's all rooted in supply and demand. Like there is nostalgia around the legacy of Jackie Robinson or Michael Jordan or whoever. People are willing to bid up for that. For Bitcoin, or at least crypto, there's more use cases, but nonetheless, if there is a limited amount of supply and more demand for whatever reason the demand is coming from, you have a market. You have a market. Yes, I know who Jackie Robinson is. I mean, I can't tell you anything else about him other than he was a baseball player, but I guess that counts about knowing who he is. But that's incredible, dude. That's incredible. So I will be going to my first sports conference, and I will let you guys know what it's like. But I am very curious to see kind of how this market ultimately plays out. Rocket Lab announces earnings August 7th. August 7th for Rocket Lab. August 7th. Wait, did I say basketball? No, I said baseball. I said Jackie Robinson plays baseball. I didn't say basketball. I said he plays baseball. I know he plays baseball. That I know. Okay, I can say that. But anything else, I don't know that much about it. So there you go. Palantir is going to be on August 4th. Rocket Lab is going to be on August 7th. All right, dude, that first week of August is going to be, and then Robinhood and Grab are on July 30th. So that last week of July going into first week of August, this is going to be big. And then Tesla's in 2 weeks. This is going to be aggressive. It's going to be an aggressive next basically month on earnings. And speaking of someone who has been pretty damn aggressive, Robinhood, here's a clip from Vlad on his newest podcast speaking about the increase in Robinhood's market cap.
When you were last in that chair, you had a market cap of $35 billion. And today, I think the market cap is about $85 billion. And so it's been a pretty good 8 months.
That was that 8 months ago, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I felt pretty good back then. You know, it's always nice when the market cap goes up. Things get easier. You walk a little bit straighter. People listen to what you have to say. So we don't look at it, of course. That's what they tell you. You can't pay attention to it. But
is that the biggest load of BS in a company? Like, you know, I'm friends with Daniel at Spotify, and it's 148 billion now. And I think he feels a lot better now it's 148.
He does. Yeah. It's I think it's very difficult. I don't know if it's easier with other companies, but my product pushes stock prices into your brain. By using it, it's just hard to ignore. So I think it's especially difficult for a business like ours.
It's the most meta thing, isn't it? If you do, like, you guys looking at stock prices on Robinhood.
Yeah.
It's like doing a podcast about podcasting. I did just want to start on that because it has been insane. I tweeted last night that it's kind of the story of Wall Street bluntly, which is just this insane rise of Robinhood in the last year. If you were to put it down to one or two things, what do you think the street has appreciated that they did not before?
I think that we've been saying the same things and articulating a strategy pretty clearly over the past 2 years, really. And I think it just takes time to understand that it's working. And we've gotten fortunate in a sense that many things have worked very, very well.
So that's Vlad basically saying, hey, you know, things have worked in our favor. We've been executing. He goes deeper into that podcast. It's actually a really good one. I'll link it right here. But essentially, he talks about how they were able to go from a company that doesn't really ship product to, like in 2020, 2022, they really didn't ship new features, to now it's like every other week there's a new product. And I think that's, you know, been one of the more exciting things coming out from the company. And that's why it's getting some momentum. 99.78. A lot of you guys have been messaging me. Like I know like 3 different people today messaged me that they got the Vegas invite. So if you got the Vegas invite, I do think you should go. I mean, A, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a Robinhood event. You'll be able to meet some of the leadership, meet Vlad, see, you know, products being introduced in real time. B, if you're coming, I think you only have to pay for the flight, but they're covering the hotel. So if you can cover the flight, which should be around about 300, 400 from wherever you're flying from, it's a pretty cool experience. It's a pretty cool experience. So and they're inviting a lot of people, dude. I've been getting a lot of messages from people on Twitter saying, yo, I got the invite. And so I think this is going to be, I don't know, upwards of 500 people that are going to be there. I'm just seeing a lot of people get invited, and it should be fun. Also, it's Vegas. It's Vegas. So yeah, a bunch of you in the chat saying you got the invite. Tony got his invite. It should be a fun one. I will be there. Yes, I will be there. Michael got the invite. I don't know if they're doing it randomly, bro, or how they're distributing it, but like, it's just like people that like I barely know, but that follow me on Twitter because of Robinhood, they got invited. So I think there might be a lottery system to just how they're like pushing out invites. And it's not even people that are even near Vegas. I mean, there's people in New York getting an invite that have to obviously, you know, fly out to be there. So it might be a bit random. I was shocked I got the invite. Yeah, dude, a lot of people. And it's definitely not influencers only. It's absolutely not influencers only. It is like people with like 15 followers on X are getting the invite. And they don't even like tweet about Robinhood actively. You know, it's not like Robinhood sending them the invite because they constantly tweet about them. It's just like maybe they've tweeted once or twice, I love using Robinhood, and that's it. So I think it is a bit of a lottery system, but they're inviting a decent chunk of people. So it should be fun. It should be fun. And I think that event and S&P inclusion, that's enough, bro. That's enough to get us to 120. I think now if the S&P committee fades us again, I'm going to be tight. I'm going to be so tight, bro. Like I will be so pissed off. Robinhood, it has the second largest market cap that could be included inside of the S&P 500. It's them and AppLovin. So if we don't get in again, it'd be really sad. But I mean, who knows? If we don't get in, we'll get in freaking in 2026. But still, it'd be nice to end out the year to see if we could get there. This is a chart right here that I think is really interesting as well. So, you know, the caption here is a lot of people thought DeepSeek was not a Sputnik moment in AI. This graph right here is the Sputnik moment in AI. I mean, and I looked at a chart similar to this last week, and Elon shared something similar as well. This is the amount of energy that China is producing compared to the United States. It's not enough. It being the United States' energy production is simply not enough to match what China's producing, which means the energy names like a VG, like a Next, like a VRT, VST, Constellation Energy, those companies rooted in data centers and energy, I think they're going to have to get a bid because it is unfathomable that Zux and Jassy and Sundar are buying all these GPUs and there's not going to be energy infrastructure to support it. The question is going to be which companies ultimately get that momentum. But it feels like all of them, to an extent, are going to find a little bit of a bid right here. I mean, this is also why, I mean, the companies that have uniquely benefited from this are Oklo, right? I mean, Oklo doesn't even have any revenue. And the street's excited because they know we need nuclear energy eventually. SMR, Nano Nuclear as well. All of these have been getting a bid. SMR up 12% on the day. NNE was up about 5%, and then Oklo was up about 11%. Now, I think the easy money on the nuclear names have already been made, so it's kind of risky. It's a little bit more than kind of risky. It's a lot risky buying it after it literally is 10x. Oklo was $6 back in January. But still, these are definitely going to be the companies that matter. Yeah, LEU, that's another one that's had a great year. Centrus Energy, that was up 5.28%. Yeah, all the energy names. Maybe it's after that Bloomberg headline about $70 billion investing in Pennsylvania from Trump, which I don't know if Trump's doing the investment or some of the other companies are doing the investments, but I would imagine Trump is going to be touting about why the investments are a good thing. That created a tailwind for a lot of these energy names. As CEG right here was red in the morning. It ended up 2% on the day. That's probably creating some of this momentum. Yeah, GE Veranova. I mean, Iren, which is kind of a Bitcoin miner / data center hyperscaler play. That one was up 6.4%. They're building out their own gigawatt data centers. I mean, it is just very hard to imagine energy is not going to play a massive role as this industry expands. So we're going to see. We're going to see how this one ends up playing out. Palantir right here, still just under 149 after hours, 140.71. We did get a 149 close, NVIDIA 164, and then Robinhood 99.80. SoFi also, second time in a row, they got a $21 close. Bullish for SoFi. SoFi did get not a downgrade today, but they got a neutral rating by Devin Ryan, which he initially, when the stock was at 12, I think he put a price target of 17. And today he basically said from JMP Securities, take profits, or kind of like, don't get ahead of yourself, was the vibe I got from his report today, which is interesting, dude, because like for SoFi, the question is going to be, does this company pull a Robinhood or Palantir? Can it actually, even if it gets to 40, or let's not even be that aggressive, like 30, I think people will be really happy. Or does it kind of just fizzle out around this $20 range? That's a good poll. Let's do that poll. Because I don't know, bro. I don't know. I mean, I want to say it's able to pull a big move when we get rate cuts, but I don't know. Does SoFi make a move towards 30 this year or stays at 20? 30 meaning at least 28, 29, right? Very close to 30. You would think it does. You would think it gets the breakout. You would think the shorts cover. You would think the rate cuts are bullish, and you would think the earnings are strong enough to justify it. But, we're going to have to see that end up playing out. And I think if it closed at 20, no one can be upset. I mean, the stock got to $8 at one point. It was 12 for the majority of the year. So, still a great return. Question is, can it really get to that high of level? That energy company will be Tesla. Yeah, I don't think Tesla's going to be faded when it comes to the demand for energy. Tesla right here at 316. Tesla fell to 314 or 312 at one point from 322. I think it's going to be in this range. 280 to 330-ish is where I kind of think Tesla can be in. Unless Elon drops some really good news on Optimus, and he's been tweeting about Optimus for the past couple of days and just dropping hints left and right. He did say again, by the end of the year, there's going to be some massive demo that no one's expecting. Everyone's confused what the demo is, but if it has to do with Optimus, I think that would be bullish. If it has to do with a new affordable vehicle, I think that would be bullish as well. Oh, we got this piece of news from Elon. The price is now $690 per robotaxi ride. Okay, so it's moved up from $420 to $690. Tesla's making an extra couple bucks per robotaxi ride. 60% of you say 30. 60% of you say it can make a move to 30. There you go. There you go. Dude, Elon's having fun with it, bro. Elon's having fun. Putting out these AI companions, making the geofence robotaxi in Austin look like this, which is just an upside T, of course, for Tesla. I mean, he's literally having so much fun with this, bro. Like, can you imagine just like being as rich as he is and as famous as he is, and just like having fun with this type of stuff? I mean, like Sundar, Zucks, Jassy, they would never tweet anything even remotely controversial to what Elon puts out. They won't even put out jokes, bro, because they're so afraid of how people will react. Elon has conditioned the Tesla shareholders to be like, oh, that's just Elon. That's just Elon. It is what it is. And it's true. I mean, like the dude has said some crazy stuff this year. It's like, well, that's Elon, you know? That's Elon. I mean, if Sundar said anything like that, I'd be like, Sundar? I've never, I mean, I would kind of like it because I like when CEOs are like out there and they just say whatever the hell they want. Like dude, Vlad cursed. Oh, I got to show you guys this. Vlad cursed on the podcast. I was so proud of him, bro. I've never heard him curse. You could see the passion in his voice, bro. Like he didn't say anything bad. He said shit. But like when my CEO, I know that they're passionate. I've never heard any of the big tech CEOs even dare get close to that. Here's what here's the clip. Where is that clip? Right here. He said, no one gives a shit. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Here it is right here. Okay, so you'll see the question, and then you'll see the clip.
You're the chairman. There's a lot of people who would love to buy into that Harmonic token right now if you put it on Robinhood. Does it go that low? How do you think about where the line ends in terms of accessibility?
It's a great question. My intent would be to go as low as possible.
Yeah.
I think that, and it's funny because we're kind of straddling the crypto and the traditional finance side. And if you talk to crypto people will tell you, well, the future is on-chain issuance. What you're doing right now is like not ideal compared to on-chain issuance, where the equity goes on-chain from the very beginning. And what I tell them is nobody gives a shit about on-chain issuance. Like the only
dude, I was listening to that today in the Tessie, and I was like, say that again, Vlad. Say that again. I mean, just like you just gave me the tingles. I was like, yes, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit.
What I tell them is nobody gives a shit about on-chain issuance. Like the only
dude, like you're not telling me the way he doesn't say it isn't kind of passionate, and I've just never seen that side out of Vlad, and we finally saw it today.
Is nobody gives a shit about on-chain issuance. Like the only place where people are even thinking about on-chain issuance is like in your head. What people want is capital as a service. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you want capital in your bank account quickly and with as little friction as possible. And I think that's where this eventually ends. You should be able to go on Robinhood or maybe other services as well, maybe upload some information, and actually you'll be competing in a marketplace. So there will be market pressure to make information that's clear and as compelling as possible.
Basically, Vlad's saying, hey, if startups want to get funded in the future, they don't need to literally issue a token on a chain, on a blockchain in and of itself. They can use Robinhood's crypto technology that we are implementing for tokenization. And as long as they get the money, that's all they're going to care about, right? Like a lot of these diehard crypto bros are like, well, it has to be done every little minute nuance through a blockchain on chain. And Vlad's like, dude, if you're a startup and you need to raise $1 million and I have 30 million users that are willing to invest in your random startup and take a risk by buying your token so that you have the capital to then potentially go build your company, who cares if it's on chain, if it's off chain? All that matters is that there is a tokenized component to it that allows it to be democratized to everybody, which is the whole promise of crypto technology, even if it's not going literally 115% towards the crypto side. And as long as you get the money and you don't have to go through some random VC who's going to take 50% of your company to give you $1 million, like you should be happy. And his argument is like, hey, the people that I talk to, they don't really give a shit about on-chain, off-chain. They just care about getting the capital. And if we can democratize capital formation, which Robinhood would be able to get a juicy premium out of connecting them to that capital, which could be a whole nother line of business for them, then obviously that would be very exciting. Yes, Carp cursing is a lot more juicier. Because Carp actually says the F word, bro. Carp will just straight up, he'll just say it. He doesn't care. You know, Carp doesn't stick with the shit or anything. Carp just goes straight to the F word. But today was the first day I got to see Vlad, say that word. So it was nice to see. It was nice to see. Robin right here at 99.80 after hours. Palantir 148.79, Nvidia 164, and then Tessie 316. Okay, what other headlines do we have? Is that it for today? Let me see. I feel like there's a couple other things. We talked about most of this stuff. Oh, here's this thing. Ethereum, dude, on Thursday, 383 million in inflows on the Ethereum ETFs. So that's in total, not one ETF, but in total. Now Bitcoin got $1 billion, so Ethereum is trying to find its way to catch up. But you are seeing some people say, all right, it's time for Ethereum. And although the treasuries had a little bit of a rough day, particularly with BMNR, you're starting to see some of their momentum. This was another headline that was interesting. ByteDance, parent company of TikTok, is developing mixed reality goggles. ByteDance is working on lightweight mixed reality goggles as per the information, signaling it's not done with its AR/VR ambitions. The device, part of a long-term effort codenamed Swan, follows a similar path to Meta's mixed reality push. ByteDance Pico unit had previously pulled back after canceling its Pico 5 headset, but this new move shows the company is staying in the game. I do not think AI goggles are going to work, but it is what it is. All these companies think that the next big computing platform is glasses. They're going to compete. I don't necessarily think it's the next big thing, but if it is, then you're going to have a lot of companies that are going to try to go after it. Is this true? Did Lara Trump say that? The Trump administration is planning to release additional documents related to Epstein? Is that true? Did they get fed up with the base basically getting as upset as they got over the weekend? Well, we got a couple news sources reporting it. Lara Trump did have an interview with Trump on Saturday night, if I'm not wrong. So, I mean, if anyone were to know, I would imagine she would know if they're actually going to do it. No one asked him about it today in his live streams. I mean, I think everyone was so scared to ask him about it. Like they asked him all these random questions about NATO that like we already knew the answers to. Like literally layup questions. No one had the guts to actually say, hey, like what's going on with Epstein? Probably because they knew he'd be pissed off. And I get it. If you're a journalist, you're trying to protect your career as well. But it's one of those things where maybe the administration is realizing that they just can't get away with this and they need to put some of this stuff out. But also, I don't know, bro. How much are they actually going to put out? Because if they don't put out the list, everyone's going to be disappointed again. By the way, Kash Patel put down any rumors of him leaving the White House. He said the conspiracy theories just aren't true. They never have been. It's an honor to serve the president of the United States, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. So you got the FBI director saying that he is not going to be leaving his position. Gladwell did say she would spill the beans to Congress. Now, granted, will they actually let her spill the beans? I think that's the big question. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they would. If they do, it would be pretty incredible, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to be able to let her talk. I mean, dude, if they let her talk, if you guys have not watched the Netflix documentary on Epstein, I would suggest watching it. You watch that documentary, you start to have a much better understanding of what her role is in all this stuff. And if she talks, I don't know. It feels like some stuff would be leaked. The question is if it will play out. Okay, I think I see the interview with Lara Trump said this stuff about Epstein. Let me pull this up right here to see if we can get there. She was on Benny Johnson's show today. He's like a conservative MAGA influencer dude. Let me see if I can pull up the exact moment. Is it here? Nope. Is it a little bit further down? Let's see. I think it's here. No. Let's see. It's a 2-hour-long interview. Let me see if I can find the exact clip. But it might be here. It's not Malcolm Gladwell. That's not who we're talking about. Okay, so she was on at this time. She was on at this specific moment. Let's see if I can find this one right here. Okay, I think this is the moment. This might not be the exact moment, but let's see.
Part of the
part of the question with this Epstein saga is that the pressure, we've been lied to for so long by people, decades of this, and it's been abuse, and people, much like a dog that's been, you lash out, right? You bite when somebody even puts their hand near you. I think people are just, they have such a high pressure incidence right now that they just want full transparency on just absolutely everything. You and your show have spoken with so many individuals throughout the administration. I think you've scored the only interview with Susie Wiles, for instance, which was very interesting. Hearing her take on Elon was fascinating. What would be your advice? Given this back and forth, we're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. This was the topic of conversation. What would be your advice in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration?
Well, I do think that there needs to be more transparency on this, and I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't.
There it is. That's the moment. This is the moment that the headlines are running with. Laura Trump right here saying, I think that will happen. Maybe she says some more, but that's the headline. Her saying, I think we are going to see some more documents released.
Know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, everything we're talking about, because it's frustrated him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did.
If that's the headline, this is not a headline, folks. If that's what they're running with, that one sentence, I mean, yeah, it's Laura Trump, so I guess she's close to Trump, and if she's saying that, maybe, but I don't think that's enough for the headlines to be like, oh, we're going to get more information. I don't think that's the case.
And saw lie after lie, and saw our country just being sent down the wrong path. And it was really frightening and very upsetting to a lot of people to see. And I would actually say over the past 10 years, we've all kind of endured this. Prior to that, it was probably happening, Vinny, but we just weren't as aware of it. It wasn't until Donald Trump came down that golden escalator that he just kind of blew the doors off of everything. And people started to wake up and realize, wait a minute, things are not as they have always been presented to us. And I do believe that you will see that. Now, as it relates to the president, I know that this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on. He's focused on a lot of other important things. We've got this big announcement with Russia going on, I think, as we're speaking right now at the White House. We have, a Middle East, we're trying to get peace over there. We're trying to make sure that Iran's nuclear arsenal is obviously completely decimated. We want to make sure everything is on the right track for this country. Fortunately, we've seen no border crossings in the last month. Zero, by the way. I think that's incredible. No one's talking about that enough. Zero illegal border crossings in the month of June. Amazing how that's all gone. So I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And I believe anything that they are able to release that doesn't.
That's it. That's the headline. I believe there will be more coming on this. I mean, maybe, but I don't know if that's enough for us to really believe we're going to get meaningful details.
Damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that. I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later.
But no one's asking for the videos. No one's asking for them to release child pornography. What we're asking for is the list of who was committing it, because if you have the videos, you obviously can see the people who are doing it. And so I mean, I don't think it's rocket science to be like, well, there has to be some level of a list that's out there. And if you have the videos, you can obviously see some of that as well, but we're just getting no transparency on that front. And I think that's the biggest issue.
Because they hear it and they understand it. So hopefully we see that happen sooner than later. And I guess that would be my advice. But to everybody out there who's all worked up about it, there's no great plot to keep this information away that I'm aware of. I do just believe that maybe it's been slow rolled for reasons that hopefully we understand down the line. And I think we're probably going to get more transparency on it very soon.
It's obviously a delicate balance and obviously something.
So there it is. That was the headline. I don't know if that's enough to get excited about more information coming. I think she's just saying it to say it. But based on what Trump said over the weekend, I don't think they're really going to be releasing that many more details. All right, so that's the headline. So now all of you saw the exact quote from Laura Trump. And that's what we got. Palantir right here, 148.74 after hours, S&P 624, NVIDIA 164. Tessie 316, and then Hoodie 99.85. She didn't even say more info was coming. She said she believed. Yeah, that's also true. She said, I believe more information will be coming out. I mean, if it doesn't, she doesn't speak for the administration. She's not part of the White House. She's on Fox News. So really, it's not like there's a director in the administration saying that. So yeah, that headline holds pretty much no weight, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on the Indonesian probe of GoTo and how that affects Grab? I think that's super bullish for Grab. We talked about that in the morning. The TLDR is that Indonesia's government is investigating GoTo, which is one of the major companies inside of Indonesia, for fraud. $610 million of fraud. It's great for Grab because hopefully that lowers the price of GoTo if they do want to buy it. B, if they don't buy it, I mean, if GoTo has to pay, GoTo cannot afford to pay a fine, forget of $600 million, of barely $100 million. They don't have the cash. They're burning cash. Their stock's down 80%. They're not profitable. So if they're going to slowly die out, regional consolidation is a real thing. Grab's going to take over that market. There's 300 million people in Indonesia that Grab can go after. And if they don't die out, then they're going to be sold for the cheap. They're not going to be sold on a $7-8 billion deal. They're probably going to get no more than 2.53 billion. And that's where Grab can swoop in. So Amit is like, yay, fraud. I'm not like, yay, fraud. I'm saying, yay, Grab benefiting from someone else committing fraud. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. If they can't get their shit together, if they're going to commit fraud, all right, Grab's going to step in, take that market. Dude, it was so funny today. Tanner tweeted, I'm hunting for high quality companies to research under a $20 billion market cap that aren't getting enough attention. Think durable moats, solid growth, long runway, but flying under the radar. What are the most overlooked companies out there right now? And I said, Grab. And he said, is there a 17-pager on the company that I can go read to get a quick thesis? I do have that for him if he needs it. I do have that for him. But it's a good question, right? Let's end the show on this question. What is a under $20 billion company that has a durable moat, solid growth, long runway, and flying under the radar? And don't say Big Bear AI. That's not flying under the radar. Don't say ABCL. That's not flying under the radar. Don't say Iren. That's not flying under. Like, we need a name that people aren't talking about. And Grab does not have anywhere near the attention of a Big Bear AI or an Iren or a Lemonade or an Oscar. Like, it's not even, it's night and day. So Grab is not there yet. That's why I said Grab. It's under 20 billion, basically 45% cash, and it hasn't really made a run. So I think it's one of those names that could be talked about. But what else is out there that really no one talks about? People have talked about Zeta a lot more. I don't think Zeta is necessarily under the radar. Okay, Symbiotic, I would say, yeah. Not that many people talk about this one. Okay, Hims, we're being funny with Hims, but Hims is under 20 billion, though. The funniest thing is Hims is still kind of cheap, bro, under 20 billion. It's only 11 billion. Like, that's the funniest thing about it. But, I mean, everyone talks about Hims. MP, I think this one got way too much attention last week, so I wouldn't say that's still under the radar. I mean, it's up 60%, kind of made its move. There needs to be a name that hasn't made its move yet. Like Grab is barely up 5% year to date. Grab is up year to date 5.7%. Because if the name's already up 40%, like even if it's a gem, like it's made its move, right? So the easy money is kind of not as easy to make anymore. Kava, is Kava under 20 billion? Is it? Kava is, yeah, 10 billion. That is under 20 billion. Kava was down 2% of the day. I know a lot of you guys have said to look into this one. I still haven't tried their food, dude. I still have to, it's so close to me. I have to go and try it out. Mattel Catalyst is their media strategy is waking up dormant brands. Didn't Mattel get a stimulus from Barbie, if I'm not wrong? Right? Like in 2023 summer? Kind of. Yeah, they went from 15 to 22 in the summer of 23, and now they're basically right back at 1994. Okay, so Mattel is up there. UPS is not below 20 billion. Is UPS below 20 billion? No way. No, UPS is 84 billion. That's no way. Does it have to be profitable? It doesn't have to be profitable, but I mean, being profitable would help the overall thesis, but doesn't have to be. Futu, we talked about this last week. Chinese brokerage company or a parent company that owns a ton of Chinese financial services and brokerages. That is one. I haven't gone through their numbers, but I've seen people talk about that. Dutch Bros, dude, this is one of Matt's only losers, bro. Like Matt's only losers are Dutch Bros down 10% and Berkshire. Everything else he's green on, which is kind of wild, bro. Imagine he didn't pick Dutch Bros. Like, he would have 9 out of 10 winners. Dutch Bros right here, 63. That's a $10 billion market cap. Wingstop is another one I've been seeing people talk about. This is an $8 billion company, although it's made a pretty good run over the past year. I mean, it was at 400, came all the way down to 225. Now it's back at 318. Over the past 5 years, it's just been exceptional as a stock. But that one's at 318 now. And I think it's up year to date. Wingstop year to date. Yeah, it's up about 9%. Nothing crazy, but it's up about 9%. MNMD. Is this a psychedelic one, if I'm not wrong? MNMD. Mind Medicine. I've heard of this a long time ago, bro. This is a small cap, 322 million. Their chart this year doesn't look that pretty. They were at $7. Now they're at $8. So this one hasn't moved. Fell a little bit in April. I remember looking at this thing years ago, bro. I haven't looked at it since, but can't put that on the list. I am not selling puts on Oscar. I have not done as much DD on Oscar, but that one did have a nice recovery today, up 5%. Again, it's down from 23, so still a bit far to go. I don't think selling puts on Oscar, though, is crazy, dude. I think 12 or 11 or 12 or 13. I mean, look, if you're bullish on Oscar, the premiums are great at 12, 13, 14, and you should be excited to sell puts at these levels if you get assigned. I don't know much about the metals company. I've heard about this one a lot. This one's like, what, $1 billion? Or less than $1 billion? This one is 2.9 billion. I've got to do more DD on this. It was up 9% today. I think there is some hype with this one, but there's also like earnings on this one that people are getting excited about. So that one maybe requires a deep dive. Yeah, Cake. We talked about Cake already in the morning. Flash flooding in New Jersey. Really? Flash flooding New Jersey. Oh yeah, there's a flood alert. Flash flooding in New Jersey. It's more in northern Jersey. It's more near New York, to be honest. Dude, over the weekend, I actually got to see the Texas flood. I didn't realize how unbelievably horrible that flood was in Texas. But I got to like finally get some coverage over the weekend, and I was like, my goodness, bro. Some of these videos are just like heartbreaking. Like absolutely destroyed some of these cities. And the floods were just horrible. And it makes sense why Trump went down to Texas and ended up trying to support it. I mean, it was bad, bro. It was pretty bad. New Jersey hasn't had as big of a flood since, what was the name of it in 2013? It was it Hurricane Sandy or something? Or Hurricane Irene? I'm definitely getting it wrong. New Jersey, 2013. Was it a hurricane? What was the name of it? Sandy, Hurricane Sandy. Yeah, there you go. This one, I remember we legit lost energy for like 2-3 days. Like that was bad. It's raining here in North Jersey. I'm 20 minutes from Jersey City. Yeah, I'm more south and I see no rain. I mean, I see some clouds, but it's still not that bad. Is this a real headline? U.S. imposes 17% duty on most tomato imports from Mexico. Is that real? There's no way that's real, bro. Did we actually just do that? Oh my goodness, we did that. U.S. imposes 17% duty on most tomatoes. How many tomatoes do we get from Mexico? Hold on. How many tomatoes does the U.S. buy from Mexico? Dude, I did not know this. 60 to 70% of the tomatoes in the U.S. come from Mexico. 1.8 million metric tons of tomatoes from Mexico? Why do we get all our tomatoes from Mexico? I did not know that. I thought we grew them in like California or something. Dude, pizza's about to get expensive, bro. Holy crap. Where's Kraft Heinz? Let's see. Kraft Heinz. They were up in the morning on a consideration of a split, not a stock split, but a split of their company. Yeah, it's still up 2%, not being affected after hours too much. I mean, ketchup, that's one of Kraft Heinz's biggest products. What? 17% on tomatoes, bro? How did he even get the number 17%? Where did yes, Domino's tanking after hours? Where's Domino's is it's down 0.2%. It's down 0.2. So Domino's is down just a little bit. Dude, I did not know we get tomatoes from Mexico, bro. I did not know that. And yes, I'm using Google AI for everything, dude. Dude, I would you see how quick we got an answer from AI overviews? Like ChatGPT or Grok could never be that quick, bro. And having to go to it. This is why I don't get the Perplexity AI browser. Like Google is my AI browser. Why do I need another browser when I type something in the browser bar and I get the answer? I don't get what Perplexity is really trying to do here. Now, I get they're doing a bunch of agentic stuff, but Google's eventually going to introduce that stuff as well. So, like, Google is the AI browser. I don't know. It feels pretty obvious. But Mexico, huh? Getting all these answers, all these tomatoes from Mexico. All right, there you go. That's the headline after hours. I think, to be honest, this is more negotiating by Trump. Mexico's president did say this morning, they put out a statement saying, we're still talking with the U.S. We're trying to figure out what to do. We hope to get to a deal, kind of all the politically correct stuff that they should be saying. EU president said the same thing over the weekend. Canada has not really made a statement yet, at least not that I've seen. But I don't think August 1st we're going to have 30% tariffs. We get so much produce from Mexico. How much produce does the U.S. get from Mexico, and what specific items? All right, let's see. The U.S. imports a substantial amount of produce from Mexico. Overall value, $19.7 billion worth of produce. Mexico supplied 63% of U.S. vegetable imports. My goodness. 47% of U.S. fruit and nut imports. Dude, that's over half of the vegetables we get from Mexico. Avocados are a major import. Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, grapes, mangoes, and citrus fruit. Vegetables, tomatoes. That's about 1/3 of the vegetables. And then bell peppers, cucumbers, squash, and snap beans. Additionally, onions, garlic, and lettuce are also among the most important imports from Mexico. Do they have tomato futures? They have orange juice futures, which were up today. Tomato futures. Do they have those? Dude, if I'm not, are these tomato futures? I think these are tomato futures. I've never seen this before, so I'm not sure. Is the U.S. Producer Price Index farm products tomatoes is at a current level of 302.77. Okay, I don't know how accurate this is, but we might have tomato futures, folks. We might have it. You should expand the imports to Southern America. Well, I would imagine, yeah, Southern America would be intense. All right, so let's change that to Southern America and see what we get. Dude, Mexico's 63% of our vegetables. The United States imports a significant amount of produce from South America, with the value of these imports steadily increasing over time. In 2024, Latin American countries accounted for approximately 80% of the total U.S. fruit import value, reaching $23.39 billion. However, it's important to note that Mexico alone contributes significantly to these imports, accounting for roughly half of that. Wow, dude. I did not know that. So Latin America gives us a decent chunk of our vegetables, but Mexico's half of it. Mexico's half of it. I wasn't paying attention. All I hear is Amit is ordering a salad or something. I'm not ordering a salad, but we have just tariffed Mexico 17% on tomatoes. And we get 65% of our tomatoes from Mexico. That is aggressive. Nothing makes me happier than making my food more expensive. Yeah, I mean, look, if this goes through, which I don't believe it's going to go through, but let's say it goes through. Well, here's the thing. It says U.S. imposes, which means it went through, right? Like, they're not suggesting a 17% duty. Imposes means they've already put the duty on it. So I would imagine, like, none of these stocks are really having any move after hours, but like Chipotle, you know, that should theoretically have an impact. Chipotle after hours, I mean, it's basically flat. It's down 2% of the day, but flat after hours. Kraft Heinz, you would think there's some impact, but nothing too crazy there. Domino's. Where's Papa John's? PZZA. That one is flat as well. Papa John's, $1.5 billion company. That one also has been I mean, it's up a lot from the lows. Year to date, nothing crazy, but from the lows, it was at 30 to 47 in April. Almost all frozen vegetables, fruits are from South America. Look at Costco, Walmart shelves. Salsa to go with the taco. Yeah, dude. That's a bit more expensive salsa now that we're going to be having. All right, folks. Well, there you go. That's how we're ending out the day. We are seeing tomatoes get a 17% tariff. What's going on with Hood? Why are you spamming Hood? And what's the issue with Hood? There's a red candle right here. Let me see. Let me see on Weeble. Maybe Legend might be showing you wrong. Hoodie is down 1%. I'll see if there's a headline. I don't think there's anything too crazy. It could just be after hour stuff. Let's see. No, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. It's probably just random after hour stuff. Dude, you guys are sensitive to that, bro. It had a 1% down candle. Everyone's spamming Hood in the chat. Goodness, dude. If this thing goes back to 80, I need to watch my back, bro. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, it's after hours. People taking some profits or people selling. You know, it is what it is. Robinhood right there, 99.80. It couldn't hold above 100. Yeah, fiends, right? Like, and I can't blame you guys because I'm the one who's freaking every single dollar I'm taking out this bell and ringing it. So I get it. I am to blame for the monster that I've created about everyone being fiends over a 0.235% move. But still, it's after hours. Robinhood's up a lot. People probably just sold and took some profits. Wow. Okay, this one's big. BMNR director buys $2 million worth of shares. We got an insider buying shares. That's actually a bit more interesting on BMNR. Is that one moving after hours? BMNR, it was flat on the day. That one's up 6% after hours. Yeah. You got an insider who's buying. There you go. Oh, is it Tom Lee? Yeah, it's freaking Tom Lee. Tom Lee dropped $2 million of his own money. Yes, sir. Thomas Jong Lee. 222,000 shares. Oh, wait a second. This is at $4.50. Okay, that's that. That's different. That's not as exciting. That's not that. I mean, he bought. This is him exercising an option at $4.50. That's different. But still, it's good that he's buying. But that's not him buying at 40. That's not him buying at 40. TTD got into the S&P 500. Is that the reason why Hood went down? Is that what we're seeing? TTD. There was a company that was getting replaced today, so that could be the correct reason. Robinhood right here after hours down a little bit. TTD is up. Oh, yep, you guys are right. TTD entering the S&P 500, replacing ANSYS. ANSYS. Okay, but Robinhood going down 1% on this is stupid because in September they're going to do a full rebalance. Like Robinhood's not going to be the one company that gets in on a random day because they have to do a replacement. Like if they're going to get in, it's going to be a proper like rebalance officially in September. Because again, there's okay, so what is this company? ANSYS? I feel like I should know this company. ANSYS. Yeah, it's a software company. They're not going to replace Robinhood with a software company. But TTD, digital advertising, software, technology, it makes sense that replaced it. Oh, yeah, that's in Tanner's draft. Hold on, Tanner's portfolio. Let's refresh it after hours. That should be green. Yeah, look at that. That's up. There you go. He's now up 7% on TTD. Does this include after? Oh, no, Tanner, this doesn't include after hours. Does it current price on TTD? Yeah, it doesn't include after hours. All right, so when that updates, Tanner's going to be green. Up 10.5%. Yeah, I'm not that mad about that, dude. I mean, like Robinhood was never going to replace Juniper or TTD or ANSYS. Like, This was always going to be a software company. When did this one get taken out of the, what was the ticker symbol on this one, dude? I feel like I've heard of this company, but this is a $40 billion company, $35 billion company, up 14% year to date. So wait, what's happening with them? Are they like, they're getting acquired or something? Synopsys is buying them out. And now it's official. So China today, based on what Reuters is saying, allowed the deal to go through. They announced it in January. Today, China gave them the okay. And boom, that's what opened up a spot in the S&P. And that's what got TTD inside. Well, congrats to TTD shareholders. It's one of those like, hey, congrats. Now, eventually Robinhood will get in. Eventually they'll get in. And shout out to Tanner. Tanner actually owns the stock in his own private portfolio. So definitely bullish for Tanner's port. So that's why Robinhood was down. They took it down. Yeah, Robinhood now down 1.3% after hours. All right. So they took it down because we didn't get into the S&P. All right. It is what it is, bro. Now, if they fade us in September, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be really mad. Like, I'm not going to be happy at all. Like I'm legit going to be pissed if we don't get in September. I know it's inevitable we're going to get in, but if they really don't let us in September, and the thing is, it could happen because remember in June, they didn't let any company in because I guess there wasn't enough space, even though you got ridiculous stocks that are down like 70% year to date that probably don't deserve to be in. So I guess they are letting companies in as other companies get acquired so that you literally have 499 companies, so you have to include another one. But if they don't do a rebalance in September and say, okay, Enphase, it's time for you to leave, and if they keep it in, that would be so annoying. And for some reason, I feel like that could happen because we got so hyped last time and it didn't play out. Yeah, you guys remember the joy when I thought Hood got in. I mean, originally I thought Hood got out because it fell to freaking like 71, and then it made that recovery. And I got so excited. But like it was traumatizing, bro. It was like we didn't get to see it. App down as well. Yeah, App is another one that's supposed to get in. Like if App and Robinhood don't get in, it's just gonna be weird, bro. App Love and Robinhood down 1.2% after hours. App Love down 3.6%. So that one is a bit more aggressive. But it would be nice to see if we do get in. This was the moment on stream. Let me see if I can find it. This was the moment where it went down and then came right back up, dude. It was like, look at this thing, dude. Look at this. Look at this. This is when it happened. Dude, this was crazy when it happened live. It makes sense to pick a lot of other companies. Robinhood's obviously had the massive execution. We've seen how the markets reacted to it. We've seen how the markets start to respect it. I think we get in. But we're going to see. We're going to have to see. And if we don't, we don't. But I think we do. Boom, red candle. Okay, we definitely didn't get it. There you go. There's a red candle. Oh my gosh. 75 to 73. Boom. Dump. Now look, if the dump is like 72, I'm okay with that. If the dump goes to 65, I'll be prepared for that. Well, if anyone at the airport cares, looks like Robinhood didn't make the S&P 500. And then see what happens. Just letting you guys know. Granted, I said I would think we get in December last time. So it's one of those things, bro. Every quarter I'm going to think we get in because we deserve to freaking get in. But you also have to be real that maybe it's not going to happen. Okay, who did get in then? Who did the S&P committee pick? That red candle's pretty obvious we didn't get in, guys. I'm not having any hope that we got in. That red candle's very obvious. And the fact that it's only at 72, I think is actually quite productive. I thought it would dump even further than that. Who got in? Wait, why is it coming back? It's coming back with a little bit of a vengeance. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. It's oh my goodness. Oh, holy God. Is this actually happening? There's no way this is actually happening. There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way, bro. There's no way. This can't be out. Hold on. It's not playing with me, right? That was pretty. You guys saw that comeback, right? It was 72 to 76 within sec. I think we got in. I don't know how you make a comeback like that. We did not get in, bro. We did not get in. Me and Tanner both thought we got in, and we didn't freaking get in. But now we're at 98, and we're complaining about 99 to 98.50 after hours, when in reality, we could have been at freaking 76. But that was ridiculous, bro. They couldn't even put out a press release. Bloomberg had to report it while I was 35,000 feet in the air of like, oh, no one got included. Like the freaking S&P committee couldn't just put out a statement saying we're not doing a rebalance. I mean, it was fun to see that comeback though, bro. To see that comeback to go to 71 to 78 and be like, oh, wait, it's happening. Like it is happening. And then it was just like, no, it's going back down. It's not happening yet. So there we go. Okay, so that's why Robinhood's down. TTD, shout out to you if you hold that one. That name getting some love after hours. They are now part of the S&P 500. This thing was down 65% at one point this year. I mean, its chart is pretty damn ugly, dude. From 130, 120, all the way down to 40. Now back to 85. It's more than doubled since the April lows. But even if you got it around that 50, 60, 70 range, it's not a bad return since then, bolstered by this S&P news. And even without the S&P, it was at like, what, 75? So if you bought it at 50, 45, even 60, not a horrible return. But right here, up 14% after hours, that's what's really helping the trade desk get some momentum. Do you think they manipulated that hood price action? I don't know, bro. I just think the trading volumes and the run-up. Remember, hood was at 62 that week, and we got to like 77 the day of S&P inclusion. So there was so many people piling in because of speculation on the S&P. And then we didn't get in, but we didn't tank. We revisited 68 the next day, and then we never looked back. And now we're basically at 100, right? So I think a lot of people might have came for the S&P inclusion, but they stayed for the company. And other people might have just came because they realized that, hey, S&P or not, this is a undervalued name that deserves some momentum. So that's what you got there. MicroStrategy, is that moving after hours? That is up 4%. All right. That's moving a little bit right there after hours. Bitcoin, are we still at 120? We are just at 120, 120,017. All right, folks. So that's it for me. I will be back later tonight at what time? At freaking 9:30 with Tanner and Roy. We'll discuss Hood, NVIDIA, Tesla, all the tech stuff. And we will keep going from there. I am sorry that we have not had a daily recap for like the past week and a half. Honestly, bro, it is almost impossible to record that episode every day, given my grandparents are home. And it's like, there's just something every day, bro. We're either going somewhere, I'm taking them somewhere, I'm running errands for them. It's like, it is kind of madness, dude. I don't think I'll be able to get back to the daily recaps, which I really do love doing. I just like legitimately, I don't have the time to do. Like right now we have to leave in like the next 20 minutes. Like, I think when I move out and get back to the apartment, I'll be able to like, do. But as of now, it's just like, it's a lot, bro. Trying to, and then that video takes a good hour to record because got to get the topics, got to record it, got to edit it down. And so like, it's not hard work. It's like, it's stuff I love to do. I don't have that hour in the day to get that done. But when I move out, I think it'll be a lot smoother. So, we will get it out there. And they're leaving in 2 weeks. They're leaving July 27th. So kind of do want to spend as much time as I can with them before they leave, because it might be a while before they come back to the United States. So we will have the daily recaps back as normal. But yeah, the streams are also long enough. So I mean, for those that do skip around the chapters in the streams, we pretty much cover all the news that is out there. So appreciate you guys. We will have those recaps coming soon. Again, I really do enjoy them. It's 20 minutes. I love just compiling everything together and putting it in one video for people that don't want to be on the streams. It's been very hard to try to make those every single day with everything else. The reason Hood is down is because TTD got into the S&P 500, for those that are asking. Robinhood did not. The market is assuming they'll get in. I don't think people will care that much by tomorrow, but maybe they do. It is what it is. The fact that we're holding 90s to me is incredible. And I think 100 is on the way, along with Bitcoin's momentum. So that should also be a pretty massive tailwind. All right, that's it. The big headline of the day, though, was indeed Palantir, new all-time highs. The Tuesday event will be happening with Karp and Trump, as per Bloomberg. Palantir did get to 149.58 today. Maybe we break through 150 tomorrow. But exciting day for Palantir, up about 4.5%. And maybe we can continue that momentum tomorrow after that event. All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll be back 9:30 p.m. with Tanner and Roy, and we'll get into all the different tech news that we have today. All right, thank you, everybody. Love you all. See you guys later tonight, and then tomorrow for the market open. Bye, everybody.